Taking on the Tuggeranong Tornadoes in Week 3 of the ACT Gridiron Juniors season, the University of Canberra Firebirds got off to the best possible start when Connor Hickey returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Ignoring calls to leave the ball, Hickey fielded the short kickoff and returned it all the way to the end zone. The Firebirds failed with a 2-point conversion but still held a 6-0 lead. This lead seemed short-lived after Tuggeranong ran their first offensive play. The Firebirds' defence overcommitted to the outside, allowing the Tornadoes running back to cut back inside and head straight up the right sideline, with only a last-ditch tackle saving a touchdown. Firebirds diffused the threat the next play when this pitch-out was fumbled and defensive end Matt Lang recovered the ball. The Tornadoes forced the Firebirds to punt and then set about driving down the field. Running back Jacob Scaberis finished the drive by taking his handoff to the right side and running all the way into the end zone. The 2-point conversion failed, but the Tornadoes had tied the score at 6-all. The Firebirds began their next drive in a promising fashion, but this good completion from Declan Brown to Con Hickey ended in disaster when Hickey was stripped of the ball. The Tornadoes' offense immediately went back to work and scored on this long touchdown pass when their wide receiver got behind the Firebirds' secondary. Although the 2-point conversion failed, the Tornadoes still had a 12-6 lead going into half-time. Tuggeranong's first offensive drive of the second half ended in disaster when Scaberis was stripped of the ball in his tackle by defensive end Matt Lang. Linebacker Jazdeep Kang recovered the fumble, setting up the Firebirds inside the Tornadoes' half. Firebirds quarterback Declan Brown immediately set to work with his receivers. Completions to Hickey and Tom Crow moved the ball inside the 5-yard line. From there, Brown rolled to the right off a play-action pass, hitting slot back Tom Hinchcliffe dragging across the end zone. The 2-point conversion failed, meaning the scores were knotted at 12-all. Midway through the fourth quarter, the Firebirds looked to have taken the lead when Hinchcliffe returned an interception by Tornadoes quarterback Michael Dawson into the end zone. However, the play was nullified by a roughing the passer penalty on defensive end Matt Lang. The Tornadoes' drive ended on 4th down near midfield, courtesy of some good Firebirds gang tackling. Brown went back to work with his receivers and moved the ball inside the Tornadoes' 20. However, the Tuggeranong defence stepped up and ended the drive with this 4th down sack. Tuggeranong looked to stage a miraculous escape when their wide receiver again got behind the Firebirds secondary. Some desperate tackling as time ran out preserved the 12-all draw. In the early game, the undefeated Centurions consolidated top spot with a 27-0 win over the Astros. Quarterback Brendan Bruce threw for 1 touchdown pass and ran for 2 more, while running back Jacob Pollard scored on a long run in the 4th quarter and surpassed 100 yards rushing. Next week, it's 1 versus 2 as the Centurions play the Firebirds at 12:30. The Tornadoes take on the Astros in the late game.